release of the federal funds a mistake? Like just yesterday, Vice President JD Vance said, he called the court order absurd. Do we think that the release of the funds was a mistake, or is it a direct result of you guys going to court?
Well, let me answer both the JD Vance piece and the other piece. This is as a result of us continuing to push legally with the judge, and the judge ruling that no longer would there be a partial payment, but the full payment. And the moment we got that ruling, Secretary Arkoosh went into action, pushed that button, and got the dollars flowing again, the federal dollars. And look, as for JD Vance, I got to say, look, I think America has a president, a vice president that don't give a damn about all Americans. They have made that crystal clear. And I mean, at least with Donald Trump, he's transparent about that. JD Vance is a total phony. And let me explain why. JD Vance rose to some prominence by writing a book about growing up in Appalachia, where there's a whole lot of people who get SNAP. He made millions of dollars on the backs of telling their stories, and then he turned his damn back on those very people who he likes to write about and claim as his own. Here's another thing JD Vance claims. He claims to be a person of faith. I know my Bible. And my Bible teaches us that we are to love thy neighbor. And we are to feed the hungry. Deuteronomy says if you see a person who is in need, you don't give them a clenched fist, you open up your hand. So for JD Vance now to turn around after claiming all these things his whole life and literally go to court to stop hungry people from eating, that is not only phony, it is shameful. And this is who is leading America today. And folks got to wake up and realize the people who are leading in America quite literally want to keep people hungry. And you'll excuse me for getting emotional about it, but when I see hungry people in my state who are hungry because of J.D. Vance's bullshit politics, that makes me angry. And that's why I went to court. And that's why we're funding SHARE. And that's why we're putting dollars back on people's SNAP cards, because that's what the people of Pennsylvania deserve, and America deserves better than J.D. Vance. Yeah.
Governor, while the money comes to the families, I saw in the neighborhoods people fighting, to try to get food because the community food banks is not enough. The food that they are getting, even they are receiving more people than normal. So, what is your message at this time, with this moment? Because could be escalated in the future.
Because I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part of what you said.
Your message to those people, because you are doing your part. The food bank is trying to fund all of them. But what is your message, not just for Pennsylvanians, but Americans in general?
My message is, I'm sorry that the federal government has held you captive. I'm sorry the federal government has quite literally taken food out of your children's mouths. And we're going to do everything we can here in Pennsylvania to love thy neighbor. We're going to do everything we can here in Pennsylvania to treat all people with respect. Treating people with respect at a baseline is making sure they've got enough food. I'm privileged to serve as governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, where here, because of our incredible farmers, we produce more than enough food for every Pennsylvanian to be able to eat, and for our farmers to have markets overseas and in other parts of America. And the only reason our farmers can't fulfill that righteous circle of feeding people who are hungry is because the federal government has stopped them. People like J.D. Vance have stopped them. And that, to me, is something that we've got to make sure folks understand. We're going to do everything we can to feed them. Our farmers want to feed them. People here at SHARE want to feed them. Hopefully the federal government gets out of the way and doesn't break that bond between our farmers and folks who are hungry and lets people eat. This is a basic human right. And they're trying to stop that. And I think it's shameful.
More questions?
You mentioned that the money is flowing again. Are you able to say how much the initial round of money is and how much more is left?
I think the Department of Human Services can give a full accounting of all the dollars probably tomorrow. We're hoping that it's around $1 million, but I want to caution you on that, pardon me, $100 million, but I want to caution you on that number. Each month, it costs about $366 million. But as I said in response to the gentlelady's question a moment ago, not all of the SNAP recipients are due to get re-upped yet. So we're really talking about sort of 7 days worth of people that didn't get their benefits, and that's around $100 million, and those are the dollars that are flowing out right now. The Department of Human Services can give you a full update on that after those processes are done. Probably tomorrow they can give you that.
Not every state has announced the release of the funds. Is the only reason that Pennsylvania is among the few states that is pushing out these funds is it because you acted quickly and went to court and sort of forced the administration's hand?
I can't speak for other states, nor do I want to suggest any other state is not doing something right. I've got great respect for my governors, particularly neighboring governors who I know are working hard on this issue. I think what you saw with us was swift action, get shit done action. We immediately sued. We declared an emergency. We have a hell of a Department of Human Services secretary who acted immediately when the Trump administration didn't move quickly enough in court. And so I think as a result of that, you're seeing some positive momentum here in Pennsylvania. Look, we're not out of the woods. The Trump administration can still go to court and stop this, and they are. That's what JD Vance is bragging about, that they're going to stop this. And so I hope they're not successful. If they are, then you're going to have another group of Pennsylvanians who aren't going to get their benefits going forward. We're hopeful that doesn't happen, and we're going to continue to stay on it and make sure anyone who's not gotten their benefits yet is in this batch of folks who are getting their funding. Either they have over the last couple hours or will over the next few hours. Okay? Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.